In Module 4.1, we learned that compensation must be transparent. In Module 4.2, we tied compensation to fiduciary alignment. In Module 4.3, we established that disclosure without documentation is meaningless. Now we confront the hard question. What happens when compensation is handled improperly? Because in Arizona, compensation violations are among the fastest ways to trigger discipline under ARS, paragraph 32, 2153. Money leaves a trail. And when that trail does not match the rules, enforcement follows. This module focuses on 3 high-risk areas: failure to disclose the compensation chain, undisclosed referral splits, and confusion between broker authority and agent authority. Each of these connects directly back to everything we've already discussed: transparency, timing, documentation, and supervision. Failure to disclose the compensation chain. Let's start with the concept of the compensation chain. In every transaction, compensation flows from a source, through brokers, and ultimately to salespersons under brokerage agreements. That chain must be lawful and transparent. Imagine this scenario. A listing broker offers cooperative compensation through the MLS. The buyer's broker receives it. The buyer's agent receives their split from their broker. But in addition, a third-party marketing company receives a fee from the buyer's broker tied to the transaction. If that compensation chain is not properly disclosed or documented, questions arise. Consumers may ask, who is being paid? Why are they being paid? Does this affect representation? The rule is simple. If compensation flows in connection with licensed activity, it must flow properly and be disclosed appropriately. Now let's examine a more subtle example. You represent a buyer relocating from another state. You receive a referral from an out-of-state broker. Your broker agrees to pay that broker a referral fee at closing. If your client is unaware that part of the commission is being paid elsewhere, that lack of transparency can create confusion, especially if negotiations become tense. Disclosure of the compensation chain protects both you and the client. When everyone understands who is being paid and why, the transaction is less likely to produce suspicion. Remember the phrase from earlier: if compensation flows, disclosure follows, and documentation proves it. Undisclosed referral splits. Now let's focus on one of the most common disciplinary triggers: undisclosed referral splits. Referral fees are legal when structured correctly between licensed brokers. They are illegal when paid to unlicensed individuals for licensed activity. They are risky when hidden from consumers. Let's walk through 3 variations. Scenario 1, proper referral. A licensed broker refers a client to your brokerage. Your broker agrees to pay a referral fee at closing. It is documented and routed broker to broker. The client is informed. That is compliant. Scenario 2, improper referral. An unlicensed friend sends you a buyer and expects a percentage of your commission. You agree and pay them from your split. That violates compensation rules because compensation for licensed activity must go through brokers and cannot be paid to unlicensed persons for brokerage services. Scenario 3, undisclosed internal split. You agree to share part of your commission with another agent assisting you, but you fail to document the arrangement in your brokerage system. Even if both agents are licensed, failure to route and document compensation through proper broker channels creates supervision exposure. In 2025, the rules are clearer than ever. Compensation must move through brokers. Referral splits must be lawful. Clients must not be misled. Hidden arrangements create enforcement risk. Broker versus agent authority issues. This is where many agents misunderstand the line. Salespersons do not have independent authority to negotiate compensation arrangements outside their broker's supervision. Compensation belongs to the broker. The broker pays the salesperson according to their agreement. Imagine this scenario. You independently promise a cooperating broker a higher split to secure a deal, without broker approval. Even if the deal closes successfully, you have acted outside your authority. Now imagine another situation. You agree to rebate a portion of your commission directly to a client without routing the adjustment through your broker's accounting system. Even if your intention is to help the client, bypassing broker authority creates regulatory exposure. Under Article 11 supervision standards, brokers are responsible for ensuring compensation compliance. When agents act independently on compensation, they not only risk discipline, they risk placing their broker in violation as well. That is why the modernization emphasizes clarity. Authority is not ambiguous. Salespersons operate under broker supervision. Compensation authority rests with the broker. A real-world discipline chain reaction. Let's build a realistic enforcement scenario. An agent promises a client a commission rebate to win the listing. The rebate is not documented properly. The broker's accounting records do not reflect the arrangement. A referral fee is also paid to an out-of-state agent, but not disclosed clearly. The client later files a complaint over a separate dispute. The department reviews: was compensation routed properly? Was the referral lawful? Was the rebate authorized? Was disclosure made? Did the broker supervise appropriately? What began as a simple rebate becomes a multi-layer compliance review. And because modern rules are clearer, the questions become direct. Was it disclosed? Was it documented? Was it authorized? If any answer is unclear, exposure increases. Why improper compensation is taken seriously. Compensation violations strike at the heart of consumer trust. Consumers assume that money does not secretly influence advice. They assume their agent's loyalty is not for sale. When compensation chains are hidden or improperly handled, that trust erodes quickly. Arizona's regulatory framework reinforces that compensation transparency protects the public, and public protection is the core purpose of Title 32, Chapter 20. A practical safeguard strategy. Before agreeing to any compensation adjustment, ask, is this routed through my broker? Is the referral party properly licensed? Has the client been informed? Is this documented in writing? If any answer is uncertain, pause and consult your broker. Speed closes deals. Structure protects licenses. How this connects to the next chapter. Chapter 4 has centered on money, how it is disclosed, documented, aligned with fiduciary duty, and routed properly. In Chapter 5, we move into professional conduct updates, where supervision standards, negotiation clarity, and conduct expectations intersect with everything we have covered so far. Because compensation errors are often conduct errors, and conduct standards define whether discipline follows.